I think AU Falcons are legendary. I mean, what other 25-year-old car can you neglect for years and then slap a turbocharger on and double the power output, creating the ultimate sleeper on a budget? But conversions like this always have gremlins which need to be ironed out. And on my Intake VCT Turbo, one of the final issues is a misfire on boost. So come with me as we try to sort it out. You're watching MotoringBox, proudly supported by Century Batteries.
Now I think the culprit here is going to be the spark plugs. It just has all the hallmarks of it. But to rule it out, we're also going to be doing the fuel filter first. Now the filter in this was last done in 2020, so pretty much 6 years ago, and probably about 30,000 kilometers ago as well. So it is due for it. And in the meantime, during that time, we've put a new Walbro 460 fuel pump into it. So it's pushing a lot of fuel around, potentially stirring up sediment on the bottom of the tank. So let's get the car up on ramps, shove this in, and check out the old one. Perks of having a standard ride height Falcon. Now I know there's special spanners you're meant to use for stuff like this, but I just have the normal ones. Not a lot when you think about it. Even with those huge ramps, access under here, getting your arms up is a bit of a hassle. So here's our new Ryco. We need to pay attention to the flow arrow, so it needs to go in that way. You don't want to ignore that. Right, so now we've got to prime it. Do it a couple of times. And one more time. Nothing. Couldn't see any leaks from the other side of the car, and over here also looks good. So, job done. Now I'm probably not going to cut this open, but I am pretty curious about how much crap is on the inside of it. So if the flow is that way, there's going to be a lot of stuff caught in this side. So we'll see if we can flush it out a little bit. It's probably easier said than done. I do remember the last time I did this, there was a lot of rust, bits of rust flecks and things coming out of it. But you know what? It looks okay. So look, as it turns out, probably not the fuel filter problem, but look, this is a good thing to do every couple of years, every say 30 or 40,000 kilometers. So look, we've done it at the very least. So next we're going to drop in a new set of spark plugs because this one has the standard Intake copper spark plugs in it. I think from factory they're like 1.1 or 1.3 millimeter gap on the plug, which you then sort of gap down to like 0.7 for running boost. Now I'm not a spark plug expert, but I've gone for a set of NGK Iridium Max spark plugs, and these are gapped at 0.8. So the ground strap, I guess you call it, the little hook bit on the end of the plug, is almost in the right spot. We just need to tap it down a little bit from 0.8 to 0.7 mil, which is a lot smaller difference than going from like 1.3 down to 0.7. So already I feel a lot better about that. And although I'm not a spark plug expert, I know the iridiums are far more efficient. So for the amount of voltage you got running through there to create the spark, these can create a far stronger spark with the voltage that's available, or the current, or whatever it is. And this is a one temperature range colder plug, which again, I don't really understand, but I know that when you've got an engine running boost, it can be beneficial to go for sort of 1 or 2 temperature ranges colder than whatever the engine had standard. So look, These were recommended. Some people recommended to stay with copper. There seems to be no correct answer, but I do remember that I ran these in my BA Turbo and they were awesome. So let's run them in this too. Makes sense. So the ground strap on the top there, you can see, is hammered down a little bit. The gap is pretty consistent, but yeah, we had to make quite a big difference to get from like 1.3 down to 0.7. So it looks like I had the gap set pretty accurately. So here's our iridium. And as you can see, the electrode is that thinner iridium style. The gap is going to be 0.8. But you know what? Yeah, okay. It needs to go down just a smidge until that 0.7 goes through there cleanly. Let's do it. Now these plugs have just been precision gapped, so you don't want to tap them on anything. You want to look after them, so put them in gently, straight and true, all the way down. I don't know the torque for a spark plug or if there is one, but I just do them up pretty tight until you get to that really meeting resistance bit and then just kind of leave it there. Leads, I suppose, are another point where you could have ignition issues, but these are only a couple of years old, so they should be not too bad. Right, so we've got the fuel filter and the spark plugs done, and as I was finishing up last night, I suddenly had a thought. What if our issues with misfiring on boost is to do with the intake manifold runners? Because we still have the intake butterflies within this manifold, which are actuating, controlled by the Haltech, so I can tell it when to actuate them, but nonetheless, they are still in there. And there have been stories and comments over the years of people saying to me that they can blow shut or start sort of wavering when you've got boost like 10 or 12 pounds running through the manifold. So I thought, let's get a camera, set it up and go for a drive. And the results were actually pretty surprising. So if you check out this video here, at the start it's in the closed position. When I get on throttle, they open. I'm just kind of cruising along here, but then soon you'll see me put the foot down. You'll hear the boost ramp up. There it goes. And yeah, the valve stays open, nice and strong. It's not even wavering or anything there. So with the misfire fixed, I thought the next thing to do would be to take it out and do a 0 to 100 run to see what this thing is actually capable of. Now, before I show you this next clip, do bear in mind a couple of things. This is a full fat Fairmont gear, even with the spare tire, with everything. It is a pretty heavy car. Second thing, we only have a 2500 RPM stall converter in this. If you really wanted to maximize your 0 to 100 times or your drag times, you'd probably go for a 3000 or 3500. Another thing to consider is the ratio, the diff and the gearbox. The 4-speed auto has a fairly tall first and second gear, and it does have the 3.45 rear end in it with an open diff, so single spinning for days. So again, if you wanted to get better times, you'd probably go for a 3.7 or a 411. With a proper torque lock rear diff. I desperately need that. So bearing all that in mind, have a look at this. So what we managed with all that wheel spin on a pretty crappy road surface is a 6.2 second 0 to 100 time. Look, pretty good considering it was frying that rear left tyre for days, for pretty much the whole run.
and I had to pedal it a bit to try and keep the wheel spin under control. 6.2, pretty good. Last time we did a 0 to 100 run in this, we got about 7.3, 7.4 before it was tuned with the sloppy gearbox shifting. So that was at 10 pounds of boost, but the Achilles heel at the moment is that rear end. If we could get a torque lock diff, get both of the wheels putting power down together, that'll make a big difference. And it would also allow us to spool it up, you know, load it up on the line, stall it up to get it on boost faster and yeah, get that low RPM sort of first gear speed, get that really launching a lot harder. So I didn't build this thing to turn it into a drag car or anything. It's just a quick daily driver. And in that regard, it does really well. But look, it still goes pretty good when you put the hammer down, trying to get those times. So I think the next step for this car would be to get that torque lock rear diff fitted, get one, probably a true track, do it properly. And then yeah, we'll tag back to the drags eventually and just see what it can do, just for fun. Also, don't forget, we have a dump pipe, a 100 cell high flow cat to fit to this car as well. I do have some updates relating to that, but that'll have to wait for a future video. Very exciting. Not fitted yet, but coming soon. So if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, give me a sub. You know you want to. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.